Welcome in to this special at-home edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. The Seahawks have a big decision to make in regards to offensive tackle Abraham Lucas. We will explain more what exactly that is in just a matter of moments. Before we do that, folks, want to make sure you subscribe to Seattle Seahawks Today. I am fresh off a little vacation. Enjoyed the bye week in Miami, but got home and within a matter of moments of walking in the door, wanted to bring you a video here on the channel to catch up to speed on what's going on with Abraham Lucas, because that's what we do around here. We're built different here on Seattle Seahawks Today. We're bringing you daily content like no one else is. So if you can do me a favor, giving you content fresh when I'm off vacay right here on the program by subscribing, that would go a long ways. We are closing in on 60,000 subscribers on the channel. We're almost there, but we need your help to get there. Subscribe now, lock us in, stay up to date. We got you covered each and every day here on Seattle Seahawks Today. So the Seahawks have a decision to make when it comes to Abraham Lucas. And the decision is not just about what's going on for the rest of 2024, but for beyond that. With Abraham Lucas. This week, Abraham Lucas is eligible to make a return for his 21-day window that the Seahawks opened in regards to his knee injury. And Mike Macdonald has remained pretty coy over the last really several months in regards to Abraham Lucas's status. He says, hey, they have a plan. They've been sticking to it. He sounded optimistic, but hasn't really said a whole lot. And now what the Seahawks have to figure out, it's a two-part decision-making process here. The first decision is, do they activate him? Is he good enough to play and to occupy a roster spot? Or do they shut him down for the year and put him on season-ending injured reserve? That's ultimately the decision they have to make at this point. And I don't know what they're going to do. I hope that they activate him, that he is fully healthy, that he's good enough to go, and that they can put him on the football field. That's the hope, but we just simply don't know until the Seahawks decide. You would think, in theory, that they feel pretty good about his chances to return to the football field by opening up that 21-day window, but we'll see when it happens. So that's the first decision. And then the second decision when it comes to Abraham Lucas is his future long-term. Here's where it comes in. You break this down kind of in two parts. Let's say that you do activate him and he does play. Does he play well? Does he stay healthy? And then is he worth keeping around, bringing back next year and be your starting right tackle in 2025? And then there's the other flip side of things. If he does not get activated and does not play this year, then you got to find other options. You have to find a new starting right tackle for 2025. You have to draft an offensive tackle pretty high in next year's draft to be Abe Lucas's replacement. That's what's in front of this Seahawks team here. Now, I'll be honest. I don't fully know for sure what the Seahawks will do with decision number one. We should find out in the coming days pretty soon, but we'll believe it when we see it, right? When Abe actually does take the field. Then we'll say to ourselves, all right, here we go. It's go time. Let's see what Abe's got. Hopefully he's fully healthy and that all this time off wasn't for nothing, that he's fully recovered. We've heard the Seahawks coaching staff, remember, they are saying contrary to what Pete Carroll and company had said, where Pete Carroll had said that this knee issue for Abe Lucas was a chronic issue. Mike Macdonald has not said the same thing. They've said actually to the contrary. They don't believe it's a chronic knee issue for Abraham Lucas. So that's a more positive sign from them compared to the previous regime of what we heard from Pete Carroll. So that points to, you would think, things going in the right direction. But to the credit of Pete Carroll's side of things, remember, Abe had knee issues when he was at Washington State. Although the first season there was no problems for Abe as a rookie. Last year would point to backing up Pete Carroll's claim that it is a chronic issue, going back to the problems he had at Washington State that slipped him to the third round when he should have been picked higher had the knee issues not been there. That's why the Seahawks were able to pick him when they did. So we shall see. Let's ask you, before we go any further in today's show, I want to know, do you think the Seahawks are going to activate Abraham Lucas or not? Type Y for yes, N for no. Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time has got you covered, folks. And I got to tell you, my mom and dad, you guys hear me talk about my family all the time. Love my mom and dad. I got to shout them out for a second. They used Game Time for the very first time this weekend. They're big Oklahoma Sooner fans. And unfortunately, they saw them lose to Missouri in Columbia, Missouri this past weekend on Saturday. Just a very unfortunate game, how that all played out. But they used Game Time, and they used the promo code ChatSports, and they got $20 off their first purchase. You can too. Terms apply. First purchase only, $20 off. You choose the event you want to go to, whether it's a Seattle Seahawks game, a Kraken game, concert, comedy show, theater production, whatever it may be. They got the prices listed. Then you choose your seat, see if you like that seat or not, and then you're checking out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. They have their seat views, so you can get the visual, see what that seat is like. You also have their super deals. If you see a super deal, that's going to be a deal you don't want to pass up on. Check out Game Time today. First purchase, $20 off you can save with the promo code ChatSports. Download Game Time. What time is it? Game Time, proud partner of Seahawks today. Download it today. You'll be glad you did. All right. So here's the other fold as we're breaking this down piece by piece when it comes to Abraham Lucas here. If you look at where Seattle is at right now at 4-5, the right tackle position has been a dumpster fire. It has been a mess this year. You lose George Fant, obviously, week one. And then Stone Forsythe takes over, and Stone was just awful. And then Stone goes down, you go to Mike Gerald. Mike Gerald had a nice game against Atlanta, but it's been a little sauce, as the kids say, ever since. We saw George Fant get some more run last week, but not a ton. Should see more of him in the coming weeks. But you are in a desperate situation if you're Seattle at the right tackle position. When we talk about the playoff hopes of this team and what they could accomplish in 2024, I could argue that their entire season, the rest of the way, comes down to Abraham Lucas's health status. If he plays and if he plays well. That's the difference Abraham Lucas makes. And think about this. The last time we saw him at full strength, all right, when he wasn't, dealing with this. Remember, yes, he did come back last year, but he still needed off-season surgery and everything. The last time we saw him at full strength, his rookie season, he was just as good, if not better, than Charles Cross was. So if Abe is fully healthy, this could change the entire scope of the offensive line if he's healthy. And I just think that based on what we've seen with this offensive line in 2024, it's just not sustainable. It is not sustainable as is to get through this season and expect that this team's going to go anywhere with the way this group is playing right now. They need Abe, and they need him back. That's how important this is. So the decision that's ahead for Mike Macdonald and the doctors and his coaching staff is twofold here. Do you activate him? That's step one. And then if you do activate him, how well does he play? Does he play well enough to come back and run it again next year? Or is he going to struggle? Is he going to struggle to stay healthy and you have to move on and find another option potentially? There is a lot on the line in the coming weeks ahead for the Seattle Seahawks team and Abraham Lucas of what's to come here in the next few weeks from now. Let me ask you this before we go. What's your confidence level in the Seahawks offensive line? For me, it's an all-time low right now. I'm at about a 3 out of 10. What are you guys at? Weigh in the comment section and let us know what you think. Appreciate you joining us here in this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today from my home studio. We'll be back in studio tomorrow for continuing Seahawks coverage, so stay tuned for that. Bye week, I know it's kind of weird watching everyone else play football today, but we'll be back at it again next week. I did get a chance to watch the NASCAR championship this afternoon. Joey Logano getting it done. That was unfortunate. But we'll be back in action. Plenty to discuss in the week ahead. Big week for the Seattle Seahawks. We'll have it all for you. We'll break it all down here on the channel. Subscribe now for free. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.